Sometimes it's the smallest decisions that cause the greatest changes in our lives. When you decide to do something, it also means you decided not to do another thing at that particular point in time. For example, your decision to be here today physically in this meeting also means that you decided not to be anywhere else at this time physically. The Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening.
Good evening.
On the 9th of November 2020, I took a major decision that looked at the time very casual and simple. It was the choice of a course of study. In Toastmasters parlance, it's called a new path. Prior to this time, I had finished the strategic relationship path, which helped me enormously in improving the quality of my existing relationships, and it helped me to build new ones. While going through the Toastmasters website and going through the valuable path, it felt natural for me to choose the persuasive influence path as a follow-up on what I had already done. Honestly, I thought it was just about techniques on how to make people do what I want. But I never knew I was setting myself up for a great shocker with what I will finally discover later. After the introductory projects of level 1 and 2 with projects like the icebreaker, evaluation and feedback, research and presenting, introduction to Toastmasters mentoring, and the like, things became very serious at level 3. Among the elective, I started seeing projects like focus on the positive, inspire your audience, conflict resolution, preparing for interview. And I was like, what's going on here? Why is persuasive influence not showing me techniques to make people do what I want from them? At this point, I felt disappointed and I almost gave up because I thought I wouldn't learn anything new on the path. But on the second thought, I decided to study some of the projects that appealed to me to first of all understand what they were about and even realize why they had to lay the persuasive influence in the first place. To my amazement, I discovered a lot of things that proved that I was wrong about my expectations from the path in the first place. To further test some of these lessons I was learning, I decided to start a free training on public speaking and communication on my YouTube channel. By the way, how many of us have watched any of my videos on YouTube? Oh, that's good. Okay, nice. Toastmaster Adaobi, can you tell us what you think about any of the videos? In 30 seconds.
Okay, you see a very confident individual. Yes, confidence.
Okay, thank you. Toastmaster Ferdinand, what about you?
Okay, I think your direct method of communication is one thing that stood out for me when I watch your videos. You have a message and you just want to communicate that message to your audience. That's what I see.
Then lastly, my boss, Toastmaster Aludu, what do you think, sir?
Consistency.
Thank you so much. Toastmasters and guests, one of the greatest lessons I learned from this part called persuasive influence is the realization of the fact that you can only influence and persuade yourself. Others will mainly share from this persuasion. This was particularly difficult for me at first because I had always looked at persuasion and influence from outside in, not inside out. That means I looked at people trying to influence me, not me influencing them from my mind. When I was doing my high performance leadership project on level 5, this truth was further entrenched in my heart. Because before I started doing the video recordings of our Toastmasters meeting and club officer, I had to sit myself down first and ask myself, do I really need to do this? Why is it important for me to do this now? And why must I be the one to do it? The moment I was fully persuaded, all the people I approached gave me their 100% assurance, and it supported me. The result of this exercise is the library we currently build on YouTube about our localized Toastmasters dealings from the experiences of our past leaders and present ones. By the way, if you've not watched any of those videos, you're missing a lot, because those experiences you can't get it anywhere. Before you go out to talk about the product or the services you sell next time, kindly ask yourself, do you really believe what you're saying? This is the reason why persuasion and influence will be a struggle for many. Because you can't even believe what was coming out from their mouth. For instance, how many of us have seen a salesperson trying to sell you something by all means before? How was the experience like? Were you comfortable? Now, how many of you have seen someone that spoke from their mind and you felt connected to what the person was saying? Ever? What's the difference? It's in the communication. When you're convinced about something, there's the way you say it that will make the person realize that, oh, this person meant this. I recently had the privilege of training some people in Zaria, Nigeria on HSE communication. Even though there was a handout for this class, within 2 hours, in a class of 12 adults, we were all able to understand the concept I was talking about. And it showed when they submitted their assignment video. This is the difference between a club that can convert guests to members and those that don't. You want to talk to me about Toastmasters? Do you believe in Toastmasters yourself? It will show in the things you do. How many times you show for your club meetings? How prepared are you when you give your Toastmasters speech? When you go outside, how do you represent the Toastmasters brand? All I'm trying to say that I've learned from this part is summed up in this simple formula. The degree of your persuasive influence on others is directly proportional to the same degree of persuasion you have within yourself, assuming all other factors are kept constant. So my challenge to you today is, before you go out tomorrow, ask yourself, all the things you want to do and say, do you really believe in them? If you don't, please don't go. Because people will tell when you're trying to force something down their throat and when you're serious. For the next episode of this speech, call 080 Egena Elvis. It was myself.